All right, let's talk about one of the wildest, most persistent theories in all of pop culture, the Kardashian Curse. It's this crazy story that weaves together fame, fortune, and a whole lot of misfortune. And, it really makes you think about the world we're living in today.
So, it all boils down to this one simple question. We're talking NBA stars, rappers, you name it. There's a pattern here that's just kind of hard to ignore. So is it all just one giant, unlucky coincidence? Or is there something darker going on?
For people who believe in the curse, this is anything but random. They see a clear and honestly pretty troubling pattern. And when you actually lay out all the names, you start to see why this theory has had so much staying power.
I mean, just look at this list of so-called victims. It's startling. You've got Lamar Odom, a respected athlete whose life just spiraled. Scott Disick's struggles with addiction were practically a storyline on the show. Even their own brother, Rob, just kind of vanished into isolation. And of course, Kanye West. His public breakdowns were front-page news for years. For the theorists, this isn't just a list of bad luck. These are the receipts.
Okay, so if it's not a coincidence, then what is it? Well, this is where you need to buckle up, because the theory takes a hard left turn into the supernatural, with a very specific and very juicy origin story.
The whole conspiracy is built around this one idea, the Armenian witch pact. The legend goes that the family's mind-blowing success isn't from business smarts or good PR, but from a dark bargain that was struck over 200 years ago. Let's break this wild tale down. So, the story goes way back when, an ancestor named Kiko Kardashian went looking for a coven of witches. She supposedly offered up her soul, and in exchange they promised that every Kardashian woman from then on would have incredible fame, fortune, and beauty. But there was a catch, and a seriously bizarre ritual to seal the deal. Yeah, you heard me right, a hedgehog.
And this, right here, was the supposed price of that pact. For believers, this is it. This is the crucial link. Every public meltdown, every career failure, every struggle of the men in their circle, it's all just the family paying its supernatural dues.
Now, it's not just about some old legend. Oh no, the theorists point to all kinds of modern-day receipts that they claim prove the family is basically a coven of witches hiding in plain sight.
People who are into this theory scrutinize everything. You know how it is online? Nothing is ever just a coincidence. Courtney captions a photo with a line from Witches of Eastwick. That's not a movie reference, it's a confession. All the women having K names, well, that's obviously a coven symbol. People even dig up the fact that Kris Jenner sold Psychic candles in the 90s as proof that she's the head witch. Even Kim's all-black Met Gala outfit was seen as some kind of occult ritual wear.
And then you get something like this. Theorists call it a veil slip, a moment where the truth just accidentally pops out. So when Kim publicly said she wanted to use a lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair to do some crazy voodoo shit and channel her, well, for believers, that was the ultimate smoking gun, a direct admission of dabbling in dark magic.
But, okay, what does the family actually have to say about all of this? Unsurprisingly, they have a very different perspective, and that's where you get this huge clash of stories. Kendall Jenner really cuts right to the chase here, with the family's defense. For them, this isn't some funny internet conspiracy. They see it as straight-up sexist. It's a story that puts all the blame on women for the choices and failures of men. And let's be real, that's a tale as old as time when it comes to powerful women. So it all comes down to this massive clash. On one side, you have the family saying, hey, the pressure of being this famous is insane and these men made their own choices. But on the other side, you have someone like Kanye West who just poured gasoline on the fire by publicly calling them a cult and literal witches and saying he felt totally trapped and manipulated.
And they have tackled the witch story head-on. That Keiko Kardashian legend got so huge on TikTok that Khloe and Scott actually talked about it on the show. They were pretty much just rolling their eyes, calling the whole thing totally far-fetched and ridiculous.
So no matter which side you fall on, the real interesting question is, why does this story have such a grip on us? Why do we care so much? And this is where it stops being just a conspiracy theory and becomes a really fascinating piece of modern myth-making.
You can actually trace how this thing grew. It started out pretty small, in the deep corners of the internet around 2015. Then Kanye gave it a huge push into the mainstream with all his statements. And then, once TikTok got a hold of it in 2022, it just exploded. Suddenly, everybody was talking about it.
At the end of the day, the theory sticks around because it kind of serves a purpose for us. It's a simple way to explain something that feels, well, unexplainable. How did this one family get so famous and so rich? For a lot of people, believing in a supernatural curse is actually easier than trying to make sense of their almost magical level of success.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. The Kardashian Curse is way more than just a meme or a crazy theory. It's really like a mirror. It shows us how we think and feel about celebrity, about massive wealth, and especially about powerful women. So whether we choose to see them as marketing geniuses or as the leaders of a witch coven, the story we believe in says a whole lot more about us than it ever will about them.